What's up, guys? Stephen One Boy Thompson.
It's the IBA champion, Earl Smith Jr.
This is Cynthia Calvio.
Hi, this is Michaela Mayer.
This is Derek the Black Bean Slows.
This is Daniel Medical Man Jacob. Shout out to Kendrick and Matt.
And you're listening to
the Slip and Dip podcast
With your boy Kendrick and Matt.
And you're listening to Kendrick and Matt on the Slip and Dip podcast.
What is up, people? Welcome back to the Slip and Dip podcast, episode number 59, coming to you after International Fight Week, the biggest weekend of the year. Double champ, DC Cormier, Daniel Cormier gets it done. We got a big show for you guys today, and coming to us live from the Vegas Strip right now is our very own co-host, Mr. Kendrick Johnson. What's up, man?
Man, crazy week, man. Crazy fight week. The funny thing is, my fight week was so crazy. I did 3 different sports, and MMA was on the minimal, but my bank account just swole up by 3 bills. But we ain't gonna talk about all that.
Yeah, man. So tell the people out there listening, like, what was your week like? I know you said you covered 3 sports. MMA. I know you do some NBA stuff, some boxing. Yeah. So what was it like? I
got here Monday night. May cost a lot of fighters. Saw several of them. Shout out to Steve Wonder Boy Thompson, Chris Weidman, Karate Hottie. They kept me in the loop. I should have went to the MMA awards. Looking back on it, that would have kind of completed everything. But I was laying the groundwork. Big shout out on a very serious note. Shout out to UFC PR team. Behind the scenes, bumping and grinding, especially Mr. Dave Lockett and Mr. Josh Etheridge. They helped your boy lock down DC, Tyron. I was really about DC the week of the fight, Tyron and Mighty Mouse for a huge piece that I did on ESPN Undefeated. I talked to each fighter 15, 20 minutes about their career, race relations as a whole. Right now, it's trending on ESPN's Undefeated about the 3 African-American champions being dominant black champions, and nobody's talking about them just dominating the sport that's not really set up in reality for them to dominate, as we saw last night. Then we progressed to Wednesday, which basically was a chill day. The only day I really didn't do nothing, but I'll start getting the grind, kind of like I popped to a couple hotels and talked to a couple fighters, got some background stuff going on in the future. You will see these people on the show, just saying. We got some champions coming. Can't tell you who. And then Thursday, I hung out with the NBA players with NBA Summer League and talked to a lot of agents and stuff like that, doing some stuff with San Antonio Spurs. Man, as much as I want Kawhi to be a Laker, from what I'm getting, talking to being in the NBA circles, Damian Lillard's going to be the next star for the Lakers, not Kawhi Leonard, because Kawhi's ego is bigger than what we think it is. He doesn't want to play with LeBron.
That's not a surprise to me at all. Not a surprise. It really is.
A lot of people saying that, so so we'll see what happens. Because if Dame Lillard comes, definitely a great move. But what are you gonna do with Lonzo and them? They play the same position, so there's a lot of question marks with Lakerland. But it was always cool to talk to everybody. I talked to Bob Pelinka. Thanks for giving us information and all that good stuff. I didn't watch the fight in the arena, but it was cool. I went to NBA Summer League on Friday and Saturday and did my NBA thing. Get a buzz. Didn't tell nobody but my co-host here. Triple G people call your boy up. Hey, man, you in Vegas? Yeah. Hey, the champ want to talk to you for 20 minutes. Can you make time for us? Oh, sure, Abel. Oh, sure, Triple G. So I got one-on-ones with Abel Sanchez in Vegas in September. Like, he was at the fight for UFC, and they did the group thing. We got one-on-one stuff. Y'all didn't get that, did y'all? Just saying. Matt knew what I'm talking about. So this week was about embracing the grind and staying ahead, because most sports pay more dollars. #facts. And another fact, we don't just be talking. A lot of people say stuff, yeah, I'm picking such and such. We really believe our picks over here, and we got receipts up in here for 600 smackaroos. Get straight to the M. Shout out to DC Cormier. I got my money quicker than I thought it was. I thought it was going to be a decision, and he was going to win an easy combo. I didn't see the knockout coming. I'm not going to lie. Didn't see it coming, but I was jumping high like I was back in my UNT basketball days. That's why I could caught a oop last night when I saw that 2-piece in that drive.
Yeah, that was crazy. So I didn't see that knockout come in like that either, but man, DC Like, listen, DC at heavyweight, that's a whole different type of beast, man. Because you're not gonna be able to get him off his feet for one, and he's just gonna keep charging forward. He's gonna be the bully, and he's gonna get in on those legs once he figures out the timing. And man, he didn't even need that timing. He caught him with that overhand right off the clinch, like he said he saw in training. And man, DC is double champ. It's so crazy, man, because this is a guy, one of the best guys in the game. One of the, from everything from commentating, like he's always been a good dude, always been on the straight, on the up and up every time. In every interaction, you see this guy, like you never see him getting angry except for at one person. That one person that gets under his skin. And that's actually a huge thing that went unnoticed or not really talked about this fight week, is that literally DC, whenever he's like in a good mood and he's jovial, he goes up there and beats everybody's ass. But whenever he gets in for John Jones, just gets under his skin, and I think messes with his mental a lot more than people give John Jones credit for. And of course, the fighting ability and skills like that's a whole other thing. But I think for DC to go out there and just do that to Stipe, the longest, or the former longest reigning heavyweight champion, still a guy that has the record really, but to do that to Stipe like that, like it was nothing, it's crazy.
I ain't finished my week, man. That's a crazy thing. Shout out to the Bleacher Report people for taking care of your boy, man. They didn't pick. They even heard about the show and didn't like some of the stuff we done and stuff like that, and was asking about MMA and boxing and stuff like that. I got invited to a VIP party at Hakkasan on Friday night and got a Little John VIP concert, and then last night Omnia after the fights at Caesar Palace. So I had a whirlwind weekend. But back to the fight. When he got that microphone, I thought he was gonna call out John Jones. Like, John Jones time. And but we don't know what happened. But to me, for people to sit there, I'm neutral on it. People gotta do what to do to make their money. If you liked it, I can see why you did. If you didn't, I can see why you didn't. But don't try to bullshit me and say that it was not staged. All these interviews our guy Joe Rogan do, who gets the microphone? I ain't never seen the microphone. I ain't seen people be fired up with a fight, throwing a punch, and they still can't get that microphone out that man's hand.
That's because they're trying to rip it out of his hand. They're trying to rip it out of his hand. You don't rip somebody's hand. If you ask him nicely, be like, Joe, can I please have this microphone for just a minute? Like most of these other guys, they just try to rip it out of his hand. That's just so disrespectful. You're not taking my mic. What's wrong with you? DC though, double champ. The champ does what he wants.
But I thought it was like when I there, I knew something was up. I'm like, Apple never gets off the microphone. But in my opinion, and I've said multiple times, you gotta if you like him or don't like him, you gotta put DC in the GOAT conversation because his body of work is better than Mighty Mouse. Look who he's beating. The resume speaks for itself. And if it was that easy to be a double champ, we would have more than two if it was that easy. I'm just saying. So that means, and that lays the criteria, since the sport is still evolving, for somebody to come along, we got a clone of DC and John Jones 10 years from now, you're going to have to challenge yourself and fight above your weight class because they're not really common in MMA. It's very common in boxing. That's the next step. Is you're going to be in that GO conversation. You're going to need that super fight, Mighty Mouse. Sorry. Love you like a brother, but you're going to have to take that challenge.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. It is true. It is true.
It's still, so with the sport evolving right now, you can kind of get away with it. But I want to say even 5 years from today, you got to have some challenge or some mega fight. Like even if you had like TJ come down, I'll still count that as a. Wouldn't you still count that as a mega fight if TJ or Cody? I'm not trying to tip my hand because both of them could be the champion. Bantamweight at this stage right now, that's still considered a mega fight, wouldn't you say?
I think DJ has to go up. I don't want to see TJ go down. I mean, that's for a weight cutting standpoint. I don't want to see him go down, but I think it's more impressive if DJ goes up because he literally will be cutting no weight. He will be cutting no weight whatsoever. Maybe he doesn't eat breakfast or something, and then he's on weight. And it's crazy. I think going up will do more than TJ or Cody, whoever wins that, destroying their body trying to cut an extra 10 pounds. It just doesn't make sense.
I forgot to talk to the weight man. Forgot who I was talking to. The weight cut kid. The weight cut FBI.
Yeah,
Man,
exactly.
I'm real sad about the T City and Holloway fight falling through, man. I hope that's not the same thing with Habib now. I hope that's not Habib Tony, because that's the first block. Hopefully that fight's not cursed. We gotta see that one. That one's set up to be a trilogy from the jump. That was legitimately set up. Kind of how Cody and TJ was set up to be a trilogy before they even fought the first time. I think T City now, he said it multiple times. He planned on seeing Max multiple times in Octagon already.
I hope so. I hope so. But I'm really concerned with what's going on with Max, man. Like concussion symptoms like that. That's no joke. That's no joke. You don't want to force him back in too quickly. Like, I don't care if they end up doing an interim, and even if he has to sit out a whole year to figure out what's going on, because you don't want to mess around with that. Max is still a young dude, and to have that happen to him before he started his weight cut, like his hardcore weight cut. He didn't even start his hardcore weight cut yet, according to the reports out there. So hopefully, whatever it is going on, they figure out and find these answers. And if he has to cut his career short, it would be unfortunate. But you got to think about long-term health, man. But assuming that everything, let's just hypothetically say here that everything's going to be on the up and up with Max, and that he gets to come back soon and defend his title against Bryan. I agree, man. I agree 100%. But I'm so concerned with his health right now. Like I can't even think about all that stuff right now.
But and then the UFC putting the rest of that card, man. Get the behind the scenes stuff situated. Your boy is focused on that, man. From September, December, man, I might be the busiest brother running around in Dallas-Fort Worth, man, because I'm gonna have football, high school football. If y'all know, Texas high school football get treated like the NFL. For y'all people that don't live in Texas, see boxing. Also doing the college football now. Man, it's gonna be crazy. And then your boy gonna be traveling with the NBA in October. Man, gonna have a back end of 2018. I'm pumped though when I saw that schedule come out though.
Yeah, man, that hotel Wi-Fi is gives you some trouble over there.
Oh,
I know that Vegas hotel Wi-Fi isn't always on point. But,
hey.
But yeah, man, we're like 12 minutes into this intro here. Let's get into the show, man. We haven't even mentioned we got Hall of Famer Urijah Faber on the show today, giving us some great insight. He's excited about everything that just went down on International Fight Week and what's about to come at UFC Idaho this coming weekend out there in Boise. And then, of course, our man Steven, the War Man Wright, is going to give us all sorts of goodies. As always, man. I love his perspective on this sport because he's done it all. He's done it all. So
literally, he did matchmaking, training, coaching. He's a whole bit.
Yeah.
Managing.
Exactly. He does it all. He does it all. So we won't hold you guys up any longer. So what we'll do is we'll get into these interviews. First, we'll have Urijah Faber up, and then we'll hit you with Steven Wright. And enjoy the show. It's fantastic conversations with both of these guys. Hall of Famer, man. Urijah Faber coming through again. It's so nice. It's so nice to talk to that dude.
Tease, man. Matt doesn't even know this. If what I can pull off next week might be the biggest show on the Slip and Dip. We might have the biggest guest on the show next week if things come through.
Well, let's hope it comes through. Next week you'll be back in the room alongside me, so we don't have to worry about the hotel Wi-Fi being a little choppy. So, it is what it is. But yeah, let's not tip our hands just yet. Let's just hope it all comes together. So yeah, here we go, guys. Episode 59. Enjoy Urijah Faber and Steven Wright, and we'll catch you guys next week for episode 60.
Please welcome back to the Slip and Dip podcast, making his second appearance on our show, the UFC Hall of Famer himself, Mr. Urijah Faber. Thanks for coming on, Urijah.
What's up, guys? No problem, man. Thanks for having me.
Man, what do you think about this crazy weekend, man? We saw history, stuff that kind of puts the sport and weight cutting it all into the spotlight all at once. It's probably not the UFC that you joined a few years ago, the way it looks like today.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I mean, what a night of fight. And first off, congrats to DC. He's kind of had a little bit of a a little bit of a tainted championship because of the whole John Jones situation. So that was cool to see him, have a big win, perform so great, and represent for all the guys with bellies out there. You know what I mean? He gave a little sense of pride to the guys out there with a little extra in the midsection. Becoming the toughest man on the planet, heavyweight champion of the world. So that was cool. What happened with the weight cuts? What are you talking about the weight cuts specifically?
The Max Holloway situation.
Oh, yeah.
And just in general, it seems like every big pay-per-view is becoming an issue.
I don't know what it is, man. I've never had a problem. I've cut weight and a lot of weight for a lot of years from college, and people just need to get more disciplined or else go up a weight. If you can't make the weight, go up a weight. That's it.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, right? Because doesn't it kind of prove that what DC did, doesn't it prove that all this weight cutting stuff is overblown? Like, I mean, I know he competed at heavyweight before and was undefeated there before, but he still went out there after going back down to 205, went back up and knocked out the longest reigning heavyweight champ in the promotion's history.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about the individual. I mean, some people do the weight cut well and it affects them more than others. It just kind of depends on the guy. I mean, there is something to be said about, the size of a human and the bone structure and where they, are going to be most competitive. And it's different for each person. So I wouldn't mind like a 1 day or like a few hour weigh-in. If you made weigh-ins at like a couple hours, like 2 hours ahead of time or something, that would probably change the sport. And I know California talked about it, but if they do it, they have to do it unified. Otherwise, people aren't going to make weight. But it's one of those things. I mean, it's part of being competitive and being a professional athlete. You have to have discipline, you have to have science, and you have to have, intelligent people around you, and everyone needs to kind of find their way.
I know you fired up for this next one, man. Is there still a lot of animosity there, or is it just like another day at the office for Team Alpha Male with the big fight coming up on the next pay-per-view in August?
For Cody and TJ? Yeah, it's just business as usual. I mean, I think we had like 16 people fight in the last couple weeks, and obviously the biggest one is fighting for a world championship. And as far as animosity goes, I don't think TJ's thinking about me, and I'm not thinking about him. We're just focusing on our own world. So I don't think there's like animosity like that, but we definitely have a dog in the fight. That's Cody Garbrandt. And he's been looking great. He's been training hard. He just had his birthday yesterday, turned 27 years old, and went and sparred, 8 or 9 rounds with a bunch of world-class kickboxers on his birthday. So that kind of speaks to where he's at, and looking forward to a hard-fought but a winning side battle that we're gonna have on August 4th. And yeah, I'm excited for it, and I think the whole world's kind of excited for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Now go ahead, Kendrick.
It seems like it's going to be set up to have a trilogy. Since they signed up for the first one, it seems like it's got that vibe in there, like it's going to be a trilogy. You think so too?
Yeah, I'm sure it will be. I mean, this is a competitive game. Cody gets that win like we're planning, then TJ's going to want to run it back. He's a competitive dude, and these are the best fighters on the planet. So I doubt that regardless of what happens, that this is the last these guys see of each other.
Yeah, no doubt. So what was this past week for you like, man? I know you were out there for International Fight Week, everything like that. I mean, just that experience.
I didn't go out.
Oh, you weren't there?
Go out.
You weren't there, okay.
I went out on a whim in the last minute. Mountain Lion Aviation is our team sponsor, and we're about to announce a second year with them, which is going to be awesome. And so we went out kind of on a whim and just made it for Saturday. So it was a 23-hour trip. I didn't really partake in the International Fight Week stuff this time. I've been I've been traveling with this, so I couldn't really stay put. And so I just got to catch the fight last night, and then I flew back this morning and skipped all the wild UFC fight week stuff that happens usually.
So you were there for the fight still last night, right?
I was, yeah.
Okay, so I got to get your opinion on what happened right after the main event with Brock Lesnar and everything. Was that too much pro wrestling, or was it one of those things like that we've seen the UFC do in the past where it's kind of just one of these fights that is put together solely to sell pay-per-views?
I mean, there's a couple ways to look at it. You could definitely say it's solely to sell pay-per-views, just on the fact that, the history of Brock Lesnar, how he got his last title fight, being a champion. He came in on short notice to save the day on another big card for a pay-per-view and got in trouble for that. Wasn't under the USADA reign at that time, and kind of had almost like a free pass, I think is the way it was. They didn't put him in the testing pool. But the truth is, Brock Lesnar's a beast, man. You see the size of that guy. I mean, he is a massive human being, and he's a real athlete. It's not like he's a WWE wrestler only. He's a national champion wrestler, Division I wrestler. I mean, I was top 12 in the nation. He was number 1, number 2. I mean, that speaks to his talent as far as that side goes. So, I mean, it's not going to be like a hand-me fight for DC. Brock will have a way to win. I mean, they're obviously looking for big fights, and DC wants big fights because he's going to get paid on pay-per-view. And Brock, he's not afraid of a fight, so he's going to step in and make another big payday. And I know I'll watch. I mean, it was fun seeing just the size difference of those two guys. I mean, if you look at Brock Lesnar, I mean, he's a mountain of a man, so that in itself is kind of intriguing. So, I mean, it's definitely going to sell some pay-per-views, and I'm excited for it.
Are you feeling better, buddy, man? That was crazy. I'm like looking at my Twitter feed at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning and see my man Faber and got ran over, man. How the hell that happened?
Oh, in Singapore, I got my foot ran over. It's still a little bit bruised on the bottom and bruised on the top, but no major injuries, no breaks or anything like that. It was just random. The steering wheel's on the other side of the road. Cars come from the opposite direction, and there wasn't anyone on the street. We were just kind of standing and talking. There was about 6 of us out there. Jessica I and her team was standing down the road from us, and it was me and Taru and Meg Malott. And basically, just a car. They must have been texting and driving, and I put my foot in the road, and it ran over my foot. So I thought it was going to be a lot worse than it was. There's no permanent damage, just a bruise. I was able to train with caution the next day, so it was cool.
Speaking of training, give some insight to some of your business things and how that training center going, man. I promise you, man, I will get out there to Sacktown, and that's going to be, besides going to the Golden One Center and see a Kings game, I'm going to go by there and show my face at the Uriah Faber Performance Center.
Yeah, Ultimate Fitness, it's been kicking butt. We're 21,000 square feet. We've got all the amenities that a fighter could dream of, and a lot of just great fitness stuff from yoga and CrossFit and interval training, and we've got a physical therapy, and then our MMA side's awesome as well. We've got the boxing, kickboxing, jiu-jitsu, and everything. So you got to make it out, dude. We'll get you. Not that you need to. Not that you lose any LBs the way DC does it. He just rolls in like no problem. But we'll definitely teach you up on some MMA skills.
Hey, my co-host, he be rolling. He's the MMA guy, right, Matt?
Hey, it's been a while. It's been a few years after I got hurt. But yeah, I've competed in jiu-jitsu competitions. I was getting ready for an amateur fight and all that stuff. But yeah, I had to move, and things fall apart. But it is what it is. It is what it is.
Yeah, you got to come out too, man. You guys are both welcome.
Awesome, man. Awesome. So what else is on your plate? I mean, besides, obviously you guys are getting ready for the big title fight, but I know you always have a ton of things going on. You seem to be bouncing all over the place. When I talk to Kendrick, he's like, yeah, I talked to Uriah, and he's just busy, So what else besides, I guess getting Cody ready and things like that? What else you got on your plate coming up in the next few weeks?
Well, first off, we've got our boys in Boise. Chad Mendez is making
Yeah, that's right. Chad's coming back. That's right. Yeah.
Super Sage Northcutt's going up to 170 pounds. And then Darren Elkins. People are sleeping on Elkins, man. That guy's on a 6-fight win streak. He keeps on taking on tougher and tougher competitors, and it's like he goes down in the rankings. It's bizarre. There's a guy that he beat that just moved up 2 ranks above him, and he's on a 6-fight win streak. So Darren Elkins has a big fight, and then we have Rick Glenn who's fighting as well. So all these guys are fighting in the same card, and so we're excited about that. Chad's been out for 2 years, so to get him back in there is an awesome thing for our team and for him as an individual also. So I'm excited for that.
How is he doing with his mentality? Is he in a good place? And is he feeling good?
He's in a great place.
Okay.
That time off allowed him to kind of regain composure, to get the desire, even higher than it was before. He's, it's like putting a dog on a leash kind of deal. He's ready to be unchained and start chasing cats around and causing mayhem. So he's in a really good spot. He's also able to focus a lot on his business, Fins and Feathers, with his. He's got an apparel line. He's got these celebrity hunting guided service that he sells out every year, and he's got a jerky line. So he was able to, focus on recovery, getting pumped up to make the return, and then working on some business ventures as well. So he's in a good spot. And as far as I'm going, we just put together a movie that I was a producer on, and I actually put Andre Touchy-Feely in it, and we are making an awesome production. It's called Green Fever, and Feely kicked butt in the movie, and my partners on the production side, Jared Roxburgh and Rick Lee, are associated with MMA. I met them years ago on the Ultimate Fighter when they were producing and working on under the UFC's banner. Mm-hmm. So we're pretty pumped on that. That'll be coming out in the next couple months, and just working on business and real estate, man. Just hammering away at the not retired life.
Yeah. Yeah, shout out to Rick Lee, man. He used to be with Champions. I remember me and Rick used to we worked a couple of events as media together. He used to be with Champions, and I know he did some stuff with Embedded too, so that's pretty cool. I saw him posting about that. I didn't know you were a part of that. So I'm posting on Instagram about it. That's cool.
Yeah, Rick, you know what I've been doing, basically learning about the entertainment industry for years now, and it's not like the Wild West of mixed martial arts. There's an actual recipe that makes stuff work. So we put our resources together and are making an awesome product, and we're excited to get one under our belt for kind of a calling card and continue to do more in the entertainment biz.
Very nice.
Cool. How does it feel, the fact that you still have the impact on the sport, even though you're not fighting? Like, a lot of people are trying to model, like somebody like Tyron Woodley, to me, is the closest person to you that's got all the gigs going while being an active fighter to build for that future. Do you think more people are going to take that personality on, knowing that there's got to be life after fighting, and that kind of follow y'all blueprint that you put out there?
Yeah, and I've had some good talks with Tyrone, and he's kicking butt, man. He's doing a lot of it on his own. He's doing commentary, he's doing movies, and he's a world champ, and he's a family man. I mean, that's a guy that's really handling business. So much respect to him, and anybody that tries to take that kind of stuff on. I mean, there's a fine line between losing focus and just staying busy and being kind of pointed at what you do. I think some people can handle it, some people can't. Some people get themselves in trouble before they try to spread themselves
you think we'll ever get to see you do some commentating on a consistent basis, or that's just a form you staying away from?
I'm not against it. I do like my freedom, as an entrepreneur. I mean, I definitely could do some of that in the future, maybe. But I've got a lot of irons in the fire, and I kind of like to use my time how I can, and so that's kind of like a job, like on a regular basis, a weekly and monthly basis, and I mean, maybe something I get into down the road. But as of right now, I'm kind of trying to forge my own path.
Yeah, we miss you on the Snoopcast, man.
Yeah, that's more my style. You know what I mean? It's a little bit outside the box, and I've done the fight stories before. I've done the Snoopcast. I'm working on a podcast myself that we're about to launch. But I like to dictate my own time and structure. That's something that's why I fought for the longest time. That was my motivation, was to create a life that I get to dictate.
Very nice.
The California kid likes to freestyle. Hey, when do you become the California man? He's about to turn 40 on us next year.
There's times to be a man. There's time to still be the California kid. So I pick and choose the battles. I'm getting there. I'm getting more grown up every day.
Hey, you had the business for sure. Hey, what can we expect to see our girl Cynthia? Can you help us get her back on the show? She's hard to catch, man. We support her. I'm not sure with Cynthia is. I saw her finally her last LFA match in February of last year, and I had a hot dog when they were cutting weight. She goes, I don't know you, but I'll fucking fight you for that hot dog. And then she went on and started whooping ass and had a banner 2017.
Yeah, she's been kicking butt. I mean, this last year we had our team banquet, and she was the fighter of the year, despite her minor setback. She came out of nowhere and started kicking butt, and we all knew her potential because of how hard she works. And I'm always trying to point to examples in the gym of people that are on the grind and that are doing what it takes, and Cynthia has stepped it up a notch since her last little mishap. She's excited to get back in there. She was prepping for a submission tournament that fell through, and so she's been training really hard. And, same Cynthia, she's just in the gym grinding and getting better, and can't wait to fight again. So I'll try to help you get her on.
Yeah, very cool, very cool. So you're right. One last thing for me. I know you mentioned him earlier, but just kind of talk a little bit about how Sage has been doing leading up to this fight. I mean, this is probably his toughest fight against a guy who likes to come forward in Zach Otto. At 170, Sage hasn't, I guess, really, showcased all of his skills yet at 170. So, what's he been looking like in training leading up to this one?
Yeah, it's kind of a weird gig. Sage is you forget he's still a kid, so he's growing. It's like, he and his father actually had a discussion with me and decided that they wanted to go up to 170s. They felt like the weight cut for him was taking away from some of his power, and that he felt like he wanted to go up in weight. And yeah, this is a very tough opponent, Zach Otto. He's got, ever improving hands, and he's a bigger guy. He's fought, I think, as high as heavyweight or light heavyweight at one point. And he's a skilled guy. So Sage, because he smiles and is so happy all the time, people forget what a killer he is. But he's a dangerous guy, man. We have to sometimes have him tone it down in the gym because he can hurt people if he's not careful. Not that he's trying to necessarily. He's been making steady improvements, and he's really, really enjoying training, which is a big part of this thing, especially for a guy who's young in the sport and has a lot of potential and is still growing. I think it's been good to see him be able to put weight on. I think he's hit as high as 190 pounds during this training camp. Jeez. At the end of a dinner, a big dinner and a full day of practice, and then he's able to get his weight down, but be super, super lean at around 180. So it's different for each individual. When I was a world champion, 145 pounds, I was weighing about 52, 53, and wasn't dropping a ton of weight. So the most important thing, like you see with DC and a lot of these guys, is just the skill set. We just have to keep on building on the technique, and Sage is a sponge. He loves learning, and he loves putting in hard work. So I'm excited for him, and then it's just going to come out to getting the job done out there, and I know that he can do it. So I'm pumped for him.
Boom. Yeah.
Does it call you Urijah, or you just Mr. Faber?
I've never heard the word Urijah come out of his mouth. I don't know if he can say my name properly. I'm still Mr. Faber.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious, man.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Yeah, well, you're right. Thanks for coming on, man. We appreciate the time on the heels of International Fight Week, and like you said earlier, man, a lot of guys going to Boise, Idaho. I'm really excited to see what Chad looks like back in there, man, and of course Sage and Darren as well. And it's gonna be a big night for you guys.
Yeah, it's gonna be an awesome night, man. I mean, all the fights are tough fights, but we're in a situation to get some big wins and move our guys up the ranks. So we're excited, And Elkins, he has a tough guy that people are looking at for one of the next up and coming guys, and so I'm looking forward to seeing Elkins do his thing again. He's kind of an unsung hero on our team. He's leads by example. He's as consistent as it gets, and so it's always rewarding to see a guy like that have success, and so I'm hoping he gets another one done and goes to seven fight win streak.
Beautiful. Looking forward to it, man. Thanks for the time again, yeah.
Appreciate it, man. It's always good having the legend Urijah Faber on, man. Appreciate your time, buddy.
All right, guys. Yep, have a good one.
All right, take it easy.